Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to ask, what three major changes can you make right now that's going to make a big change in your twin flame journey? So what's three major changes that you can make that will make a, will put you in a better direction? How about that? On your twin flame journey. How about that? What is three major changes for my viewers? For the collective, anybody that watches this, any friends, what is the advice for them? What is the advice? What are three changes that they could make to put them on the right path? Three cards, please. Three cards. What are three changes for my viewers? Okay. All right, so we have healing reversed. What I'm getting from this is just more of an inner healing, not like an outer healing. There's an inner healing here. And I could get a clarifier, but I feel like this is going to be more about energy work, healing inner trauma, inner child, past, shadow work, that type of thing. So this is very much a inner energetic thing, right? And here's the thing, because you're connected to your twin flame energetically, so as long as there's still stuff that's not healed inside of you, all that does is get mirrored back to you by your twin flame, right? Because it's just one big mirror, right? Okay. And the next card is lovers. So what's going to bring you, really the lovers card is just all about unconditional love, right? Just knowing that they love you and you love them no matter what. Now, I'll be honest with you, the way to get there, because sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes it's hard to feel unconditional love for someone or something that is not like returning, right? Like you feel love for someone and then not returning your love, or in the third dimension, it looks very so what's a good word? It just looks like they don't care, or they're over it, or they've moved on, or whatever the case may be. And and I know in other videos I've mentioned timelines, and so that's just the timeline shift, and you're on a timeline where you're a multidimensional being, and then you're mirroring back to you your deepest wounds so that you heal them, right? So that's the healing card right there. And then the lovers. So unconditionally loving yourself, but it's upright. So I'm getting, it's more about your twin flame. So unconditionally loving your twin flame is easier once you do the healing part, because what's going to happen, the more and more you do the healing, the more and more you do your energy clearing. I suggest emotion code. That's just me. There's so many different things with breath work and chakra clearing, and I don't even know what people do. People dance it out. You could do, I've done like sound gardens, that type of stuff. Anyway, there's so many ways to do it. And when you're healing, it's like you start to really love yourself to the point where you unconditionally love the other, meaning it doesn't matter what they do anymore. It's almost like, oh yeah, I already know they love me. It's like my intuition already tells me that, and I love them, and that's all that, it's more of a spiritual love and that type of thing. That's what unconditional love kind of is. So it kind of turns into that. And then who knows what will happen in the physical, right? It depends on your twin flame journey. Sometimes physically they come back, right? And sometimes your soul's like, no, we're holding off even longer. We got more to heal. Really, the kind of the soul in between is kind of pulling the strings. Then we have receptivity. This is the divine feminine. So this is really balancing out your own divine feminine. You could kind of see her. You could see the shape of her in there with the lotus flower in the middle. And so really this is just being receptive. And I know this is hard because I do the same thing. I'm always like busy, 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 and zooming around and doing stuff and getting stuff done. Um, and really what they want to do is download. They really want to download wisdom into you. And so to be still and to receive, they want you to be able to listen to them. And that way, that's the only way, what they're telling me is the only way the changes can be actually made is if you listen to them. But if you keep doing what you're doing and you don't change what you're doing and you keep doing your same old routine, then the changes can't be made. They have to download the changes. They got to give it to you where all of a sudden it's going to hit your brain. You're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a new thought. Am I supposed to be doing this now? And the answer is probably yes, because it hits your brain. And so they're asking you to be more receptive. And so let me just get, let me just do 3 more clarity. I'm still going to use, I still feel called to the Osho Zen Tarot. So let me just ask the how. And how? Is there any how or clarify? Whoops, that didn't work. Could we clarify these 3 cards, please? The major changes that we're making here. I have 3 clarifiers here. Well, all reversed. That's interesting. Harmony reversed, turning in reversed. Oh, integration reversed. Oh, okay. So what they're saying is what they're telling me. So here's the thing. And if you don't do this, right? If you don't do this inner healing inside of you, and if you don't have this unconditional love feeling, I'm getting, because it's upright, I'm getting it's for more of your twin flame, right? That's the toughest one. And if you're not willing to balance out your own divine feminine and be more receptive, then most likely you will not have harmony. Hold on, what do they tell me with turning in? Yeah, they're telling me that all this will be delayed. So the integration is reversed, and see, that's the yin and the yang. So that would be out of balance. So they're saying that you will not get integrated with everything, because that's union, right? It's about unity. That's what this is. It's a spiritual journey. It's about union with everything, and including your shadows. That's the darkness, right? That's the divine feminine. And so they're saying if you don't do that, then there'll be no integrating, or that will be delayed, no turning in. Yeah, because you're not listening. It's almost like you're not listening, you're not turning in, you're not listening to your guidance, and there's no harmony. Okay. That's what they're telling me. I'm just curious. I'm just gonna grab these advice cards. I'm just gonna ask for 3 advice cards from these Island Time Wellness cards. Any last advice about this with changes? Any last what kind of changes? 3 major changes that need to be made to make a difference on this twin flame journey. We're trying to make a big difference on this twin flame journey. We're trying to have a positive and be in a positive direction. How do we do that? 3 cards. 3 cards. All right, so we have limited beliefs. Subconscious beliefs impede progress. check-in self, shadow work, rewire with subliminals, limited beliefs. Okay. So the first card here has to do with probably programming. Now, when I do my energy work, I do that, I believe, on Mondays. And what I do is I'll do something where I'll help you release some kind of subconscious mind blocks. So that's what that's about. So the energy work is to help you release blocks. And so what causes the blocks are these programs that go into your subconscious mind. And that happens from like listening to the radio, watching TV, watching a commercial. I don't know. I don't even know what programs us anymore. Social media, whatever's on, whatever, wherever, right? But it's okay. We can clear it. It has to be cleared. But in the meantime, please know that you will have these blocks in you because your subconscious mind is not going to know any better. And so you have to kind of clear your subconscious mind. And shadow work, it says. So again, that's not, it's accepting your own shadows. You don't want to spend time with your shadows because that's what most likely you'll be doing if you're actually physically with your twin flame. They represent your shadows. I don't know if you know that. Your twin flame represents your shadows. When you're hanging out with your twin flame, now you're hanging out with your shadows. It's yours. It's your wounds. And it's really hard to hang out with. So I suggest you make friends with it first. I suggest you really take it in and you really, I don't know if you know what shadow work is or if you've ever done shadow work. There's plenty of YouTube videos on it. But the way I look at it is it's really accepting all those parts of yourself that trigger you. Anything that triggers you, if someone triggers you, now you're like, oh man, is that mine? Because it really pisses me off. And it is. Yes, the answer is yes, it's yours. And I have to accept that about yourself. It's just like, I really hate about this person that they do this particular thing. I can't stand it. I can't stand that they do this. And truth of the matter is, it's yours, and you can't stand it about yourself. And so you have to kind of make friends with it and accept it and say, it's mine, it's mine. Like I'm always like, it's mine, it's me, that person's me, that thing is mine. Okay, I'll have to heal it. Let me release trapped emotions based on it, because I'm just like, oh, that's mine again, and yeah, it's really hard because it's just never ending. Because I'll be honest with you, I've cleared so much work for myself, and now I'm doing it for my past lives. I have endless past lives. They're endless. They, I've gone back to the dinosaur years, and I'm still not done. It's just a lot. It's just like how many are left? Because I still get triggered over this same stupid stuff that I know I cleared years ago, and I'm like, why would that even trigger me? Who cares? Then it's like, another past life. The answer is yes. So anyway, that's making friends with your shadows. I swear, you know what sometimes works for me? I literally tell my past life self to go away for a while. Like, not now. Please. And then when I do that, when I'm like, that's dumb. Why am I thinking about that? Like, I don't even care about that. And then the minute I say that, like I check in, the minute I say that, it goes away. And then I'm like, I knew it wasn't mine. I mean, it's mine, but it's not mine in this, not this avatar. This avatar doesn't care. Another avatar cares, or another spirit cares. Anyway, the soul is a big conglomerate of entities that are you. And it's like, you're not meant to be here on earth to be all, oh, everything's great and fine and wonderful and sunshine every day and joy. Nope. You got to be gray. That's the sweet spot. Gray. They don't want you to be all the way into the light, because if you go way too far into the light, the shadow will start to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's the same thing with the shadow. You go more into the shadow side, which is very, very debilitating and very, very much suffering. The light gets bigger and bigger and bigger and starts to help you. But you don't want to be there either. You get sick a lot, right? You get health issues, mental health issues down there. You don't want to stay in the shadows. But you can't stay in the light either. You got to be in the gray. You got to be in the darkness and the light. It's a mixture. You got to accept all of it. You got to accept the good and the bad and the ugly. It's all yours. Nothing's supposed to be perfect here on earth. It's a boot camp, no matter what, no matter how much you try to, because trust me, I've learned every trick. I have, okay, so my daughter calls it spiritual bypassing. I have bypassed so much stuff. So many lessons that other people are learning, I've been able to bypass because I'm taking in these downloads and I'm running with them. I mean, a marathon. I figured stuff out that most people have not. And I still cannot stay in the light. Okay. It still has to be gray. I've come to that conclusion. They'll switch my timelines. They'll switch it so rapidly. They'd be like, oh man, she spiritually bypassed that lesson. All right, next timeline. And so, yeah, it's the divine feminines in the shadows and the divine masculines in the light. And so you want to marry the divine masculine, the divine feminine. You really want to balance that. And the divine feminine is going to kick you in the ass. And it's good though, because the divine feminine really takes you to a new height. So if you really want change, go ahead and shadow dive. You will change. Oh yes, it's like a diamond. It's like a coal going through heat and pressure, and you will come out as a diamond. Yes, that will definitely bring you change. Okay, the other one is inspired thoughts. And so I think this is kind of what we've been talking about, where you allow it to download, you become the divine feminine, and you're still. So many people are busy, moving. Oh, I have so much stuff to do, and oh, I have so many things planned. And that's all great and fun. Trust me, I know. It's fun to be busy and planned and all that stuff. But then after a while, you don't get anything inspirational, like nothing. Like obviously you just get pissed off. You're just like, oh, I'm stuck. Yeah, there's no inspiration because you're not giving yourself any downtime. You gotta schedule in that downtime for that inspiration time. And then you're like, oh man, I'm wasting my time making plans like this when I should be doing that, and this would change my whole life around. Yeah. So inspirational thought, but you gotta allow it to come in. You gotta give it time. You gotta be still. Now, I don't meditate. I just don't. It doesn't serve me. I don't get inspiration when I meditate, but it does help It does help people to meditate. I get inspiration other ways. I get it while I'm doing emotion code. As I'm clearing, things are coming in like crazy, and then of course I do tarot, right? So all I gotta do is some cards, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa! I'm like, say what? I didn't know I was supposed to go that route, Okay, so then the next thing is negativity, distorted views, wounds, complaining, negative self-talk, self-sabotage, outside influences. Be gracious. Negativity. Yeah, and again, this is the subconscious mind that's programmed. So, however you want to do it, however you want to clear the subconscious mind, that's really going to help. Because what's going to happen is you are going to be able to spiritually bypass. Once you start clearing your subconscious mind, it's almost like you're going to see things that most people don't, and you're going to know things that most people don't, and you're just not even going to be in the same vibration or dimension anymore. Like physically you will be, but vibrationally you will not. You will not be in the same dimension. And you're just going to see things very differently. You're going to have a whole different perspective. Instead of the world is against me, you're going to be like the world is me. That's coming. That's coming. Or at least in certain areas of your life, the world is for me, and what is that teaching me, Although I have to admit, no matter how many times I work on that, another entity, another past life pops in me. It's almost like I'm their queen or something, right? It's like, oh, well, you know stuff. So sometimes I got to say, I'm not better than you. I don't know more than you. Stop it. Anyway, they'll come in and then they'll freak out about something. I feel myself freaking out, and I'm all, about what? What are we freaking out about? And then also I have this real negative view because then I try to attach it to something. I'm like, oh, it must be my coworker. Oh, it must be my blah blah blah. And it's not. It has nothing to do with that. It's basically so hard to explain unless you're already. Is anyone else there experiencing the same thing I am? Yeah, it really is crazy where you just have to start separating yourself from your emotions, and sometimes it's your soul. I had to reset my soul because I realized I was blocked. I had to ask the psychic. I said, "Am I blocked from my soul?" And the answer was yes. She's like, "You're so freaking blocked." And I'm like, "Well, who are these entities?" She's like, "Yeah, they're you and everyone you've ever known in every past life imaginable." All 10,000 of them. So anyway, so when you start to have a negative view, try to separate yourself from as best you can and just realize, is it mine? And it's funny, the more I'm going through this work, the more I'm meeting people who have so-called schizophrenia. Not meeting them, but like hearing, or people asking me for help, I should say, who have supposed like schizophrenia or some kind of personality disorder or mental health issue, when really what they're going through is not much different than what I'm going through, where it's basically you're dealing with your past lives. They're all coming back to be healed. That is part of the Twin Flame journey, and it's part of the integration journey. So it is a very, very, very high dimension. You are nowhere. You're not in Kansas anymore. You're in the Wizard of Oz here. No, I'm telling you, you moved up in vibration once you start doing this. Once you balance your divine masculine, divine feminine energies, once you get this far and you're balanced, oh yeah. Now your past lives are like, me next. Balance me, balance me. Because I talked to a psychic about it and she's all, yeah, because you didn't heal yourself in those lifetimes. And I'm like, how many lifetimes? I healed in this lifetime. Isn't that enough? Nope. You got to heal all your lifetimes. And then, you know what's weird? Your twin flame is you from another lifetime. Okay. I'm telling you. It's like a bunch of people come back to you as you from another past life, and they're like, heal us, heal us, heal us. And they'll just mirror back to you everything that you haven't healed. You think it's gone, right? You think your past lives are gone and they don't affect you anymore. But they do. Affect everyone. Even people who don't even believe in this stuff recognize cell memory. For instance, I knew a woman who she said every year at the same time, her husband has some sort of mental breakdown. And it had to do with when his father died at a certain time frame when he was young. And I thought that was interesting because she goes, because he's never really aware of it. Like he never was physically aware of saying, oh, this is when my dad died. But he ends up having some kind of mental, almost like a cell memory breakdown. And then all of a sudden, he remembers, he's like, oh, this is the same time that my father died, but he doesn't heal it. So every year it happens. So it's like a cell memory thing that happens to everyone. It could be from this lifetime, but the hard part is it could be from another lifetime. And that happened to me when I was 14. I had a mental breakdown when I was 14, and I didn't really have any reason for not that I could think of. There really wasn't any, extenuating circumstances that would make me want to have this mental breakdown until one day I met this astrologer who went over my past lives, and she goes, "Oh wow," she goes, "You had a past life when you were 14 in which you were raped, you had a baby, and the baby was killed." And I said, "What?" She goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh my God, is that why I had a mental breakdown at 14? Because I didn't know why I did." And she's like, "Yeah, you have cell memory from that life. Isn't that terrible?" And recently I just fractured my foot. And I talked to a psychic, and she goes, "Oh yeah, that was from your lifetime when you lost your foot." You have to heal that lifetime. So it's like so many lifetimes. Anyway, so I'm sharing that because I'm sure you're going to relate to it in some way. Maybe not the same way as me. Maybe it's not as extreme as mine. But sometimes if you don't know, if you really don't understand, and sometimes you think it's not logical, like to me, sometimes it's not logical. Like with me and my twin flame, it really wasn't logical that I would yearn for my twin flame. And the reason why was because he wasn't my type. And then I think in most cases, the twin flame really isn't your type. So it's really not logical. But yet my soul had to have this person, but it didn't make sense to me. And so then I realized I have to kind of separate myself from my soul's communication. The emotions are my soul's communication. And then I have to say, well, I can't attach it to something because because it's my soul's communication and it's not attached to anything specific in the 3D because the 3D is just an illusion. So I had to really figure that out. And once I did that, I was free. Except when my past lives jump in and then they make me feel sad. For whatever reason. Like right now it's happening. Like right now I just felt an entity come in like a past life, and now they're sad. And I'm like, for what? And then sometimes I'll start crying because I'm like, I don't know why it's sad. I just don't know. Like what are we sad about? And then I have to kind of ask myself, like my soul or whoever's here. And anyway, I don't know why I go so deep into this with you, but maybe some of you it will relate. You'll relate. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe you're going through the same thing, and you're just like, I don't know anyone else who's going through this, so I don't know. So I'm just sharing it in case you are, or one day you do. If one day you're going through this, you're not alone. But anyway, so that was the last card. When you're viewing things through a negative lens again, and then I did a reading on this as well, where everything's neutral until you put your own energy into it. You put your own perspective on it. Everything's neutral. Nothing has a good, bad, nothing. Until like everything's just neutral, and then each person puts their own spin on it. They're like, well, that's negative because, or someone says that's positive because. And then when you listen to the other person's perspective, you're like, oh yeah, I could see why that would be negative, huh? Or, oh yeah, I could see why that would be positive, huh? And after a while, you start to see, everything's neutral and I am it. It could still be negative though. You could still see it as negative. I do. I still definitely still see things as negative. My shadows, I still see them as negative. But at the same time, I got to say, well, it did change me though. And it is making me go deeper though. And it is making me be more compassionate though. And these shadows are making me become more wise, So in that way, it's a positive. So anyway, so it's really just your perspective on how you see things. If you're a New Yorker like me, and New Yorkers, we tend to see the world in a very kind of negative view. That's just the way I was brought up anyway. That was the world. I'm not gonna say every New Yorker, but the way I was brought up, that's just what we complained. That's what we did. We whined and we complained and stuff like. But now looking back, I laugh because it just wasn't everyday thing, and it did affect my health. I found myself to be sick all the time, physically sick, even though I was so young. So anyway, it's just a program, so you just have to kind of clear the subconscious mind. That's going to really, really help clearing the subconscious mind. And don't worry, I don't want to make this feel like it's a never-ending thing because I've only been doing this since 2000 and I've been doing the emotion code since 2019. Okay, and now it's only and it's not even been 19, 20, 21. So it's not even been 3 years yet because October of 2022 will be my third year. So don't worry, I'm not saying this lasts forever. I've only been doing this for 2.5 years. This a psychic that I talked to told me that for me it's going to end. It's quieting down. This is not forever. At some point, it's going to start to calm down. So I don't want to scare you and think, oh my God, I'm going to heal, and then I'm going to have to heal my past lives, and then I'm going to have to heal this and that. Yeah, for a while, but no, it's not going to last forever. It is winding down. It's not as bad as it used to be. It's definitely less and less and less. Anyway, I talk a lot. So 31 minutes later. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for just coming here and hanging out with me today. Have a great rest of your day and take care, everyone. Bye.